Murray State Athletics is excited to begin our reveal of the facility master plan. It's time for all MSU athletics facilities to make a leap forward to remain competitive among our peers in the Ohio Valley Conference. Now let's take a look at Bennie Purcell Courts, the home of Murray State tennis, named after legendary tennis and basketball icon Coach Bennie Purcell, who guided the Racers men's tennis team from 1969 to 96, and he won 11 OVC championships. There are actually two possibilities for Bennie Purcell Courts. The first one, according to the master plan of the university, relocates the facility to Waldrop Drive. The Waldrop Drive location provides a better student-athlete experience and better player development in that it makes coaching more efficient and effective because the coach can see all of the courts at the same time. From here, a new facility would be built with a new building that would have locker rooms, public restrooms, concession stand, coaches' offices, and a pro shop. The new location would have a new lighting system, a scoreboard, and state-of-the-art court resurfacing, and it would wrap around a middle area with enough seating for 100 spectators. The Waldrop Drive facility would give Murray State women's tennis its own building, and it would give the Racer soccer team at Cutchin Field its own space, as the teams are currently sharing a site. The second plan would keep Bennie Purcell Courts where they currently are on Chestnut Street. It would also have a new spectator area, resurfaced courts with ball controls, a new scoreboard, better fencing configuration, branding, and a brand new lighting system. And most exciting in both plans, Racer women's tennis would enjoy a multi-camera video system that would allow the Racers to have simultaneous streaming of their matches. This is a very attractive perk when considering many of the Racers' student athletes are internationals and their families cannot visit Murray often. But with this new system, they could watch their daughters play their matches. Former Racer Ashley Canty, a four-time All-OVC performer for the Racers from 2010 to 13, is excited about the planned improvements for Bennie Purcell Courts.
I think the updates are going to be great, just all the way around, not just from a player perspective, but also from, a relative and family perspective. Just having, our family being able to watch us when, they're far away and they can't, physically come and see us, because I know even back when I was playing, I was, a lot of us were, from the States, but my family was about 6 hours compared to everyone else's, and they barely got to see me, and sometimes that would make me a little sad. But having that, especially for all of the girls who are from other countries, it's unlimited, the times that their family can see them, which I think is great. And yeah.
And there you have it, a look at tennis as Murray State Athletics is making its move into the future. And one interesting thing about what we could do with our women's tennis program is the two possible pathways for Bennie Purcell Courts. One is to keep it where it's at. The other is to move it over to Waldrop Drive and build a completely new tennis facility. And with us now is head coach George Cateno, who is an OVC champion twice in 2014 and 15. And then we have our sisters from France. And in the middle here is Sarah Loncharovich and her sister Anya. So it's great to have you all here. And George, let's just talk quickly about the two proposed pathways for Bennie Purcell Courts. Either one's going to really turn out great for Murray State women's tennis.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think both pathways, whatever we choose to do, it will be very, very interesting. I played here at Murray State, so I'm so used to having our tennis courts there at Bennie Purcell where it's located now, and I love it. It's in the heart of campus, but there's some constraints being there. We share some of the facilities with soccer and everything, but it's been a huge home advantage that we have. A lot of students can come and watch our practice and watch us compete and everything. But then also moving to Waldrop Drive, it will give us a really big advantage, I think, in the OVC, because we'll have our own space. I think the way the courts would set up will be really, really nice for me as a coach to be able to kind of keep an eye on everyone and what they're doing. So I think it's two really good good ways of doing things, and hopefully we'll see what's going to be best in the future.
Well, the Racers have always had a great home court advantage since George has been our head coach for women's tennis. 38-10 at home overall in home matches, and in OVC play, as I mentioned, those two OVC championships, 19-4 at home. So you all have played very, very well at home. Let's talk a little bit about the student athlete experience.
Yeah.
Our student athletes with Murray State already get a great experience, but my goodness, having a brand new tennis facility, one that's better, and then some of the other things we've talked about, like being able to stream your matches.
Yes.
Having a camera system in the tennis facility that could simultaneously give us 6 courts, and we could sit there and switch between them. I mean, how much would that mean to the student athlete experience?
I think that would be huge for a recruiting standpoint, for sure, because as you know, we have a team full of international students, and every time when we're doing live stats and everything, their parents are like at home trying to check how our teams are doing, their families, you know, and everything. And having a camera system would take us to another level. Nobody in the OVC has that, so if we can implement that, it would be huge for us. Also for evaluation, you know, for whenever we try to do some video evaluations whenever we can, and it would be huge for us to have those cameras there.
It certainly would. And Sarah, your family and I are friends on Facebook, because whenever we put up the pictures, your folks just eat up the pictures. So certainly if they could watch you play, and obviously all the things we're talking about are going to be in the future, but if you can just tell us how much that would mean for future racers to be able to, for their folks overseas to watch them play.
I mean, obviously our families are pretty far from us, but they're really involved. They want to keep up with us. They want to know everything we do, and especially coming from a family that's really like into sports, they really want to have that access to see how we perform. How is it being a student athlete in the United States? And it would be a great advantage for us in the long run, just like improving our games with the recordings and just watching and getting better as a team, always to keep that in mind, and having a team full of international students is just something that will just enhance the program and obviously make our families happy and ourselves really satisfied. So,
Anya, you've gotten a chance to be at Murray State with your sister, and now with our technology, the world's smaller than it's ever been. So hopefully your folks don't feel like you're too far away. But it would mean a lot to future student athletes for Murray State women's tennis to be able to tune in and watch their children play.
Yeah, our parents they're always been super, how do you say, passionate, and like they were always behind us. So coming here, it was weird for us like to kind of be alone, even though I'm not, but you know what I mean though. But just knowing that they're watching, like I think
it would be great.
Yeah.
they would wake up in the middle of the night.
Yeah, they would just put their alarm at 4 a.m. and just tune in.
Well, if we're playing, say at 3 o'clock, they're going to have to wake up a little earlier today.
They would for
and be
sure.
able to watch. But George, just the overall improvement of the tennis facilities. We're talking a better surface, new fencing, branding, new scoreboard, lights. You know, all of these things go into maxing out the potential of a student athlete. And really, isn't that what you want?
Yeah, for sure. The lighting, it's a big thing, because right now we cannot really practice at night. So if for some reason there is we have to be done at like 6 or 7, because it's hard to manage their schedule of classes and everything, because we want to make sure they're taking the class they're supposed to take so they can get their degrees and everything. So it's always been a very very challenging to put those two together. Having lights would be amazing, so we can knock some of the practice out at night, you know, whenever we cannot play in the afternoon or even early in the morning sometimes when it's still kind of dark, you know, we can still go there and play. But in general, just having new surface. I wasn't a student athlete here, as you know, and so since I came here in 2009, I think it's still the same type of surface. They've been holding pretty well, which is amazing. I've never seen any tennis courts hold that well, but it's we need it, and it would be amazing for us to have that.
And as we mentioned too, if Bennie Purcell courts are moved over to the Waldrop Drive location, then that's a new building, new team space, new locker rooms, and spectator areas and all that. So we're really excited about it. Let's go back to Sarah and Anya, just very quickly. Your experience at Murray State, I could just tell as you guys got here today, it means a lot to be a racer, doesn't it?
It really does. It's really a unique experience that I will never regret. And the town of Murray is something.
There's something special.
Yeah, there's
about
something
Murray.
special
Yeah,
about
I don't
Murray.
think I would ever pick anything else, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just our courts, they're so special to us. We have a great record. We enjoy playing there. It's just,
Yeah, we just love playing at home.
yeah.
We have a lot of people coming watch our matches too. Like we've had, I think our student athletes, especially in general, we really support each other. I can still remember, even though it's a bittersweet memory because we're playing for the championship against Austin P. We ended up losing a really, really close match, 5-2, with 2 matches deciding the third set. But we had, I don't even know how many people coming to watch. You know, it was like 100 people, like all the student athletes were there supporting us. And it was a great feeling to have that kind of support that we have in our home matches. It was tough. Of course, the final result, we wanted to win, but it's something special about Murray State and about our athletic programs in general.
Well, we want to thank Coach Cateno, Sarah, and Anya for coming on with us here today as Murray State makes its move into the future for women's tennis.